I went and got a massage today.
Yeah, you're living a life today. I'm jealous.
Yeah, don't let it fool you. I'm in an unbelievable, I'm in a crushing amount of debt. And, like,
Yes, I love it.
and I cry like a lot. But I'm doing
Yeah.
I'm fine. No, but I am okay.
I'm good.
I
Yeah.
really think that I'll just cut to the end of the show right now. I think that the truth about getting older is that
Yeah.
what you learn is that you never stop being terrified and emotional. You just
Mhm.
learn that it will pass. Like that's all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's been good talking to you, Rudy. Thank you so much. For
Those
having
are your
me.
lessons.
Jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. Not jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. With Rudy Tibersi.
What is up, my friends? Thank you for stopping by. This is the podcast, Jokes in the Gym with Rudy Tibersi. That's me. I'm Rudy Tibersi. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad we're hanging out. I had a fun weekend this last weekend. I was at a comedy festival, the Savage Henry Comedy Festival in Eureka, California. Met up with a lot of good friends, saw a lot of good people, did a lot of mediocre comedy, but I had fun doing it. Festivals are about seeing people, hanging out with friends, and being adaptable. But I had a good time. Saw friends, played some wiffle ball, cracked some jokes, had a nice time. I was happy that my motel had a workout space. It was great. It was one of my favorite parts of the trip in a weird way. I was able to just work out early in the morning. I could wake up early and then go down to the little fitness center. Oh my gosh, I love these motels with fitness centers that are just like one and a half things. This fitness center had an elliptical machine. I think it had a treadmill, and it had like a weight stack, like a weight cable pulley machine that I actually really liked. I got like full workouts in on it. And it's a reason why I would go back to that place in Eureka, the Bayside Inn, because it had that little workout thing. And it just is such a good way to start the day. Like when you're on a weekend away, when you're at a comedy festival, when you're doing a weekend of shows on the road, and you have a place that you can get a little sweat in, like a nice morning workout in, without much like external effort. Oh my gosh, that's huge. It's also fun to be able to like go to a new gym when you're in a new city and do that kind of thing. I love that. You'll meet people, you'll see how the town works, you'll get a feel for stuff a lot more by doing something like that than by not working out. And it's fun to have these little, side quests when you're on a comedy trip where you can be like, oh, I gotta go work out, or I had to go find like a show shirt. I packed like a dipshit this whole weekend. Like I brought 12 t-shirts and one hoodie. Like that was it. I wore the same pants, and I went through 4 t-shirts. But it was fun. And then I bought a shirt at a local Lots for Tots, a secondhand store. And I like that. Again, just doing little side quests when you're on the road is pretty fun. So it's fun to be able to do that. Fun to see some friends, pet a cat or two, do some shows, that kind of thing. And I'm not like sober this year, but I had a couple drinks. I had like 2 or 3 drinks. Some of it was just like a PBR was $2 and water was $4. Another one, I ordered a liquid death, but they handed me a hard seltzer. And so like I drank half of it and left it there. Like I'm not being this big drinker. And it's the Savage Henry Comedy Fest. So, people imbibed, people had fun, people had a good old time. I had a good time. But I wasn't getting lit like I used to. And that felt good. That felt good to be able to have my mornings, to wake up and feel good. That's more of what I want to do these days, as opposed to like stay out and get late. I want to go to bed. Like I love bed. I really love bed, because then bed gives me the ability to be Rudy the rest of the day. That's why I love bed. Bed is the biggest support I can think of. Going to bed is a super freaking power. If you go to bed early at a comedy festival and you're like, that's great. That is a victory. Even if you do it once. Even if you do it once, that's doing good things for yourself. So that's how I felt. Yeah, so I'm back. I'm happy. There's a lot going on at the Y, and I'm excited to continue forth with jokes and the gym. I'm excited to continue forth with this episode. This was a lot of fun to listen to. I didn't mean to have such a long intro, but it was relevant. It was a fun thing to talk about. It's what just happened. I think that's part of what podcasts are. We should talk about our lives, right? And that's exactly what my guest and I do this week. Eve Ellenbogen. Eve's hilarious. We met in Korea. And I will give you a warning right now. She's dirty. She's a dirty comic. She goes blue super quick. There's going to be some trigger warnings in here for people. So if you can't deal or don't want to listen to another person's stories of assault, then Eve shares some of that towards the latter parts of the show, just so you know. And I thank her for that. And I thank you for listening today. I'm super stoked that you're here, that I'm here, that I got to listen to my conversation with Eve before I recorded this. So I'm in a silly mood because our conversation was silly and I had a good time. So thank you for that. Without any further ado, today's fake sponsor is Go Fuck Yourself Bees. Have you ever had a bee in your house and you didn't want it to be there? Come on over and get Go Fuck Yourself Bees, because Go Fuck Yourself Bees is the best bee repellent you'll ever seize. Go Fuck Yourself Bees guarantees all the bees in your house to be gone, all the bees in your bed to be gone, all the bees that you have swallowed over the years to be gone. Fuck yourself, bees. Go fuck off, bees. Was that the name? I don't really know, because I'm being attacked by bees. I wish I had some Go Fuck Yourself Bees. Brought to you by the makers of Go Fuck Yourself Wasps. And that was our fake thing. I did that fake. Am I tired? I don't know what's going on. I feel okay. I feel good. I hope you feel good. Thank you for stopping by and enjoy my conversation that jumps right into it with Eve Ellenbogen.
Because you get off and then like the microphone, like you cut off the recording and then you just start crying.
Yeah, it's pure tears. Yeah. It's just
yeah. You're like, no, this is me. Like you would assume that it's like, yeah, this is the podcast. Oh yeah, hey, so how have you been? But it's like, thanks so much for coming. I'm so alone. I'm so alone. Yeah.
That's the closing song that I play after the credits for myself, just when it's done.
Yeah. Good. That's just
a lot of tears, and that I make my guests witness afterwards.
Listen, I think you know that I would be into that.
Yeah, you seem like you'd be down watching a man cry.
No, but because we go back, you know. I haven't seen you in a long time. I always knew that inside of you was a weeping man.
He often comes out. Like,
yeah.
I've been in a weepy early day place lately. So like
Really?
before noon, I've been crying lately. And it's not like I'm not bad. It's not bad. I'm just like that donkey found his ball.
That's such a I thought you were gonna say balls, but like then you like ball like a catch like a
like
dog.
A toy ball.
Yeah, but then I'm like
a
donkey. Like then I'm like, what part of TikTok are you on?
Yeah.
Wait, so how do you do this? Like, do you intro the person? Are you going to do this before we start? Like,
so yeah, let's do an intro.
Okay.
So Eve, I do like a mock bring you up on stage. So what would you like me to say as I introduce you, Eve Ellenbogen? What should I let the people know?
About me personally, about me and you, how we know each other, like what?
Either one. I kind of might do an ad lib about our connection, but then I just also want to make sure to get the main points out there that you want me to get out there.
I think I'm more interested in hearing what you come up with without my prompting. And I want you to go for it.
Give it the juice.
Yeah, do what you want. Say what you want to say.
Yeah,
Don't hold back, Rudy.
Don't hold back. Okay, so I just got the go ahead from you. We're gonna start. I'm gonna push the button. It's gonna go 5, 4, and welcome to Jokes in the Gym with Rudy Tibersi. Everybody, I'm stoked to have my guest here today. She and I actually go way back. We met in the land of South Korea. Mm-hmm. We were both teaching doing comedy, living our lives, getting blasted in Seoul. Like that was life for a lot of people who move overseas to teach and do comedy and travel all over. It's like, yeah, I'm a drunk with a passport. Let's get it going.
It was the best time of my life. Yeah.
It really was. And this guest, my friend today, she lived it up there, and she was a great comic in Seoul, and now she's moved all over the world. She's been in New York City. You visited London. You didn't live in London. Did you live in London?
I didn't live in London, no, but I've performed a bunch in London.
Performed a bunch in London. Now she's in Austin, the ATX of TX, right?
And I used to live in Australia.
And she lived in Australia. She rocks. She's rolling. She's doing it all. She changed her bra at the beginning of this show.
I did, on camera.
On camera? You were off camera.
I was. Yeah, you're like, I would remember that. Look.
Oh, everybody give it up for Eve. New bra, Ellenbogen.
Thank you. And the truth is, it is actually kind of a new bra. Like, it's a new bra for this episode, but it's also, I got it recently. No big deal. So, yeah.
How's that feel? Does it feel great when you get a new bra? Or does it...
The first couple wears are like a little uncomfortable, and then after that, it's like, oh, I feel so supported. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just like getting a new crew, like a road crew that comes around with you, and they it's like if you're a race car driver and you pull over, and they quickly like, you know, and then before you had the original crew with you for a long time, they were old, they were tired, they didn't have the juice, but yeah,
the new ones here, new bra, squeeze the nipples, get you out on your way.
Well, they hold my boobs, squeeze the nipple. I don't know if you know what a bra is for.
Oh, but, yeah. What do they do?
Yeah. You're like, bras, they finger you, right? They keep you really... they're for support, Rudy. They keep it up. Okay. They keep you looking fresh and young. And so the reason I changed the bra was because I am like limited in my appearance on camera. There's like a small frame. Just this is for the listener if they're not viewing.
Totally.
And I was like, I feel like for where I am in the frame, my boobs should be more a part of this. But I was wearing a sports, I went and got a massage today. Yeah,
you're living a life today. I'm jealous.
Yeah, don't let it fool you. I'm in an unbelievable, I'm in a crushing amount of debt.
Yes, I love it.
And I cry like a lot. But I'm doing. I'm fine. No, but I am okay.
I'm good. Yeah.
I really think that I'll just cut to the end of the show right now. I think that the truth about getting older is that what you learn is that you never stop being terrified and emotional. You just learn that it will pass. Like that's all. You know what I mean? It's been good talking to you, Rudy. Thank you so much.
Those are your lessons. Yeah. I have a feeling that this is going to be one of the dirtier shows. I don't know why.
Are you calling me a whore, Rudy? Are you calling me a dirty little, slutty little whore? Is that what you're implying?
I wanted to sneak skanky into the intro.
You should have.
I didn't do it. I couldn't. I don't know why.
Right.
No.
Did I cut you off, or is it just you just couldn't get it out of you?
I couldn't get it out. Yeah.
That would have been pretty funny. Were you like, oh, I don't know how she'll respond to that? Was that what you're thinking, or you just felt bad?
I think I felt bad. I was like, I don't want to say skake on the intro.
Right, you're like, it's too true. It's too much the truth. Yeah, she knows.
Yeah, we're truth tellers. Yeah.
Yeah, you dirty skank. Skanky is like slutty. A little whore is like a fun, like, oh, you fucking everybody, including the mailman, But skanky is like, you're disgusting, Is
it?
Like, I would think that like skanky is like I imagine skanky is like wearing an old dirty pair of underwear. Is that not what what do you think of as skanky?
What do I skanky? There's the Skank Fest. So if there was a Slut Fest, that would be a different show. Right. Skank Fest is like That's probably true. Dirty underwear. Yeah, that might be like I'm gonna go an extra day or 12 hours without showering.
Yeah, and that's not me. So yesterday I skipped showering, I'll tell you the truth. And then today I changed my sheets. Like, that's how I feel about
Oh.
where I'm like, oh, if I didn't shower and but I changed my sheets because it
Mhm.
grossed me out that I slept in them
Mhm.
without showering.
Mhm.
But then I have not yet put on new sheets because I'm so tired. Before my massage, I was so tired that I like didn't have it in me to change them. So I stripped it, and then my bed is like looking at me.
Oh, so it's a
Naked.
loose bed. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
that is a skanky move.
Well, I'm not going to sleep on it that way. I'm just
Okay.
saying it'll be like 1 a.m. tonight, and I'll be like, why didn't I do this sooner? Why am I? Yeah, the whole day. But so it's like I have standards, but I don't have like energy to execute my standards. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I get it. As a fellow crier, I feel like that's where a lot of my energy goes. At least a third of my energy goes into crying. Like that's
Fellow crier is such a great, because there's like fellow traveler, like, which I guess we are
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Fellow comedian, but my fellow crier is such a funny term, and I feel like we need buttons, like pins that we wear, like that just say fellow
Yes.
crier. By the way, have you worn this hat on the show before?
I think so. Yeah, I've worn it with a friend. I might bring it out on my Korean friends.
Right. Yeah,
You
who are
know.
Korean, or like people from Korea?
People I know from Korea. It's fun. That's one of the things I love about the pod is just like I get to chat with people I met 10 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, and we get to catch up and see what the hell we're doing. It's pretty fun. You've been all over. You've been
you get
all
to call
over.
them dirty whores.
Yeah.
I'm turning off my
I get to call you that. I've literally called no one else. I haven't even called you that.
Oh, well, you wanted to. I know. I get it. People say that about me. No, I wish it was true.
I have a bit that I'm doing about I wish I was a slut. Like, I wish I was a slut. It sounds great. I just can't. I have sex with a person. Yeah.
So this is the thing. This is the big ruse about me, is that I am a slut only on the inside. I have not had sex in about a year.
There you go.
And I usually get horny during a massage. As I said to you before, I had to rein it in today. I didn't get horny during this. I felt like a and I was like, yeah, and then I went, nope, no.
Settle down, little Eve.
Yeah, little lady. But little Eve is accurate because I really did masturbate a lot as a child. So that is the part of me.
Inside you is a masturbating child. Sorry.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Like zipped in there. And, so I am a horny person, but I'm not a slut. Unfortunately, I could be, not to brag.
Whatever. I could
have sex with like any drunk, penniless, disgusting man I wanted if I really.
Yeah.
You could just roll over to any bar and be like, "Does anybody want to put it in?" And then you'd find someone. Yeah, exactly. But I have learned my lesson that not from sleeping with homeless men, but just from sleeping with people that I don't really like. It's not worth it.
You're right. It's not worth it. But I think as comedians, we do have to sleep with our fair share of homeless or unhoused people at some point. I feel like that's part of it.
Made that politically correct. You like use them as a punchline, but you don't want to be rude. You're like, I slept with some unhoused people, if you know what I'm saying. And they weren't actually.
It was just they had a deal on a room.
Yeah, or they just were on a couch for a while.
Yeah, and that's it's not unhoused or homeless. You're on a couch.
I feel like what's bothering me is I'm like, I think my camera's dirty, so I have a little look at that.
There's schmutz on it.
Yeah, she's beauty and she's great. Actually, I think it's the exact same as it looked before. I just wanted to make sure. It
looks fuzzier now.
No, it does not.
Yeah, it's not better. The lighting is off. It's a harsher light.
All right. Well, I was a little horny before this, but no more.
No more.
Yeah.
Massage is a distant memory right now.
But your camera do you have a webcam or is this your computer camera?
This is, I have a desktop. Like my last job, the last real paycheck I got, I used to buy an actual computer. You know, like my last full-time job. It was like, this is what I need. It's going to help me do stuff. And it has.
And what computer is it? Like what brand?
It's like a Mac.
Okay,
It's a
so it's an Apple.
desktop. So yeah.
It's got a nice camera. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, brag. I mean, I have a nice laptop. All right, it's a newer Mac laptop. No big deal.
Booyah,
My dad had to
whatever.
loan me the money for half of it. It's fine.
Yeah, thanks, Dad.
Yeah, I know. Oh my God, today my dad said something that was so irritating.
Oh no.
Well, he's like, I'm going back to visit him. He's so old. It's like so expensive. I keep going back and forth because I'm like, is this the last time? Oh no, he's seeming okay, but this is the last. No, I think he's gonna.
Huh?
But he like knows. Today he made a joke. He was like, well, he's turning 90 in March.
Oh, wow.
And he's like, well, we'll see if I make it. And I was like, just like, like, yeah,
me too.
I think about it all the time, but it's weird when you acknowledge it like that. And
yeah.
But so he's giving me $100 toward my airfare because he wants to see me. I don't really have the money.
Mm-hmm.
And then I told him that this woman who was kind of like a mother figure to me growing up, because I had no real mother figures around or no
Mm-hmm.
nice ones. She just randomly sent me. She got a little high. She's in her 70s, and
Nice.
She got high and just sent me money. And
Right on.
Yeah. She's just like, I got $250 when I was at work. You know, I was at work making no money, and I just get this money, and I was like very excited. I called her, and she was stoned, and she was like, "I love you. You're amazing." You know, like she's like an old
happy
Jewish
high lady.
Yeah, my former English teacher from high school.
Oh,
yeah,
and
so
she was Bone and Dad?
No. She and my dad have met like twice.
Oh, okay. I thought
She's
she was
just-
like a okay.
Oh, mother figure, like she kind of like adopted me because nobody was like parenting me. Cute.
Gotcha.
And so I told him that she sent me money as a gift, and he goes, "Well, then why am I sending you $100 for your flight?" I was like, I got so mad. It's so hard when you have a parent who's like kind of dying, and you're like, I have to be nice to you, and I can't. Like, I really wanted to hang up. I wanted to be like, because you were never a parent. That's why I have her, you know. But
right.
I just had to. I was like, and I just got so mad, but I had to like rein it in.
Mm-hmm.
And I did okay. But he was like, "You were in such a good mood. How come you got so mad?" I'm like, "Because of what you said." Like, why are you? Anyway, so I'm getting ahead of myself. But yeah, so things are good. Yeah.
But also, money will throw my feelings in the dirt. Like it'll just go down the drain. My attitude, my mood just goes right down the sewer. If I got another call from DHS, Department of Human Services. Like I'm on friggin' food stamps. I have a minimum wage job.
Yeah.
I'm under the poverty line. It is so far past paycheck to paycheck. I'm pay to pay. Like it's so.
Okay, Rudy, I will sleep with you. Okay, fine.
You're like, I'm impressed.
I'm like,
these are
somebody
impressive.
say unhoused, future unhoused.
Paycheck to paycheck.
You're like, I have nothing. I am getting church basement bread. And I'm like, oh my God, I am so wet.
I feel like I'm getting a massage right now.
Yeah, exactly. No, actually, the truth is that makes me feel a lot better because, why do you think you're so broke?
Because of why do I think I'm so broke? Broke. I think it's because I am taking time to get to the next place. Like,
yes,
I knew I had to take a job like this in order to get to the place I want to. I work in membership at the Y. Yeah. I love the Y. I'm happy to work at the Y. It's really awesome to be a part of it, actually. Yeah. And this month I will be moving to personal training and to the wellness team. So I'll be like teaching classes and doing one-on-ones and that kind of stuff. That's been like a goal for like 20 years, quite literally for me. Yeah. So it's like one of these things that I've been working towards for a long time. And even though I've been working out for 20 plus years and had a personal trainer certification, I didn't have experience in the field. So I had to get an entry-level job in the field, and that's what's happened at the Y. And it's been a good fit. I really like the job. It's really crazy hard sometimes and super demand. You know how it is in a customer service job where you have so little control over what's coming your way.
Right.
Like that takes it out of you.
Right. All you can control is how you're being in the moment, basically.
Totally. And some
all the
people
prep beforehand and sleep and all these things.
Yeah, exactly. Getting to work in a timely fashion, having your food ready, that kind of stuff helps me so much. And knowing when I'm like, oh, I'm snappy with customers, so I
Mm.
need to go eat. Like I need to take my 15 right now. Like I I feel that.
Yeah, you're like my dad. Like,
Yes,
just yeah. For me,
I'm
it's
just
not like yeah. Go ahead.
angry man who's hungry.
Yeah, for me, it's not like when I'm hungry, I get like kind of like limp. You know, I get like
Mhm.
like I'm not gonna get snappy. Yeah, but for me, I'm like I am snapping because I didn't sleep last night. Like that's and that's
Mhm.
harder to fix because you have to do it later when you go to bed on
Right.
time. But then later I feel great and I'm like, but why would I go to bed now when I'm gonna die one day? I may as well live tonight and then
Well,
tomorrow. I don't need. I tell myself every night that I don't need that much sleep, and then every
oh
day I
no.
go, "Who was in charge last night?" Like
Yeah.
it's kind of that's so funny. I should write a joke about that because every day it's like being mom who's picking up in the morning after dad was babysitting,
Mhm.
but it's like it's just me. It's just me every single day, and
Yeah.
I go, "What the hell did you do?" And I have to go, well, I didn't think I thought it was fine. Like just I didn't know she couldn't eat ice cream. Like just everything is like I didn't
Why
know
don't
she'd
you
get
start
diarrhea.
a movie at 11:30 and eat
Oh
a
yeah.
half a
Yeah,
tub
yeah.
of B&J's?
Yeah, although I will say this, I don't do certain things that I used to do. Like I don't buy ice cream. I
There you go.
don't buy like bingey foods because
Nice.
I know that it's like, well, I'll have like it's I don't know when it happened because I don't think I was always like this, but if I buy a pint of ice cream, like
Uh-huh.
that is the serving. And I think that
Uh-huh.
that's what I think that when we were kids, because we're like the same age, right? How old are you?
41.
Yeah, I'm 40. Sorry, I'm
Nice.
younger. Anyway.
Look at you.
Yeah, I'm like a little girl, but dirty little girl. But I just when we were younger, people didn't eat a pint of ice cream unless they had like an addiction. Do you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like
Yeah.
acceptable. You had to
It's not
hide.
okay.
Well, you had to hide your addictions back then because
Yeah,
you didn't have the.
today.
Yeah, today everyone's like, yeah, just be who you are, and they'll do it on TikTok. They'll cry the whole time, and
Yeah.
they'll eat a whole thing of ice cream, and they'll go, just live your best life. And
Is that part of TikTok?
I mean, yeah, I'm not on TikTok anymore, but like there are people who, I mean, like a mukbang in Korea.
Like
You know what
Mok
mukbang is.
is like was that the video bong? The video rooms?
No. Oh my god. So it's so funny how like there's like a whole underbelly of the internet I bet you don't even know about. A
You're probably
mukbang,
right.
so like mukta, like to eat,
Uh-huh.
So a mukbang is it's actually not like a room. It's videos like that people started it was like pre-TikTok. Korean
Uh-huh.
people specifically, fat
Uh-huh.
Korean people. And I'm
Yeah.
not being like mean. They were like it's
Right.
like people who
They're
like
big
that's
Koreans.
their job is like I'm fat. Like that's their job. Like and so they would get all this food like jjajangmyeon and mandu and all this stuff like and just surround themselves and then record themselves eating and people would
Right.
watch it. And that
Yes.
became this whole thing.
Oh.
And now there's like an entire part of the internet of watching specifically Koreans but a lot of non-Koreans eating a lot of food. And people love it. They give them money. They'll buy them the meals. They get sponsorships. It's like some of the
This
highest viewed videos are
ho-
people eating.
just eating. And are you watching these? What's your favorite food to watch?
I
be
watch
eaten?
when I really need to come, and I no, that's not my. It's not my specific part of the internet. I'm not insane. Like you know
Okay.
what I mean. Like
Yeah.
like if I'm equating it to like porn or something, like sometimes you go, well, what if I watch like a rough video and then you see someone kind of like get raped and then you go, oh, that was too much and you don't do it again. You know what I mean? Like that's how it is for me to watch a mukbang where I
Yeah.
go, I've done this and it didn't feel very good. So I'm not gonna
I'm gonna go to a different part of the internet next
I'm
time.
gonna watch a healthy recipe video. You know what I mean? Like or just I'm gonna watch someone eat an ice cream. No, my god, I don't watch people eat. Watching
Yeah.
people eat is such a weird thing. But you remember my friend
It's-
Hannah? You know my friend Hannah who you saw.
Yeah.
She's sick now.
Yeah.
Well, I say she's sick. She's got cancer. I guess that does mean she's sick. But she's
Sucks.
yeah, she's not like sickly all the time. But started making. Hannah has like an incredible like palate. Like she like loves food. It's like
Okay.
it's like a sexual. I don't think it's sexual. She would get mad at me, but it's like it's. Yeah. Oh my god, watching someone lick a microphone after I've seen people do so many disgusting things with microphones, I'm like, Rudy, you're gonna get a disease.
I'm the only person who's ever licked this or touched this microphone.
You're like, but it was up my ass one time.
Yeah.
But without the cover.
It was a good interview though.
Yeah. But she like loves, like she'll crunch the bones on something. She'll like, so she can, she's really into all this stuff. So she's also very tiny and doesn't have like weird eating addictions, but she does love these videos, these mukbang videos. So she was doing ASMR eating videos where she would make like a batch of soft shell crab and Korean style, and then eat them on camera and like with a special mic and all, and kind of narrate it and whatever. And she was getting like some good views, and like she had fans who would watch every video.
Fun.
And then she got cancer and she stopped doing it. Well, now her diet is limited because she's like specifically trying to like heal her cancer through diet and stuff. So not as much fun to like eat, cancer friendly foods on camera.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you went to go see her recently, yeah?
Yeah, I went to England for 10 days and I put a weekend before and a weekend after so that I could go to London and do shows and try to like make the price of the ticket back, which I did, which was great.
Hell yeah.
But she lives in the South. So I went to a weekend in London, then went down and stayed like a couple blocks from her for like 4 nights or something, and then went back to London. It was great. Yeah.
Nice. How is comedy in London different for you? Like what from
Texas
Austin, let's say?
I mean, it was kind of funny. One of the shows, people booed when they found out I was American. And like actually 2 of the shows. And the first one, I didn't kind of respond the way that I would normally respond because the owner of the club was there, and I didn't want to be like, I didn't know what he was cool with me doing, so I really lost that one. I didn't say what I would have said, and I never got them back on side again. And it was such a bad. I mean, I actually didn't really care about this one because I just made out with somebody in a park, so I was fine.
It was good.
Yeah, the guy that I had sex with a year ago, we hung out when I was in London. We made out, and then I was like, I gotta go to the show. So I was I bombed. Yeah, I mean, happy ending would have been I came, but I didn't. I just made out with him. It would be weird if I came from making out. But I did the same show. Like I had a few sets that night, and I did that one again later. And the owner was there again. It was such a bad bomb that after that set, he got on stage and he goes, "Well, I think she's funny." And
I get that. I love that one.
The thing is, like, I didn't care because he likes me, he books me. It's a great club, and I was like, you know what, like these people can go fuck themselves. Like I know that it wasn't the jokes. Like I probably wasn't my sharpest because I was trying to figure out how to be in front of him. But I said to him after, I said, if you weren't here, I probably would have been really mean to them. And he goes, it doesn't matter if I'm here, do whatever. So I came back and later, and some of the same people were there, and I got booed again for being American. And I fucking went so hard. Yeah. And I had a killer set. It was great. Yeah. So it was like, I think the difference really is like, actually the biggest difference I noticed is people are super pro-Palestine. So I have a joke where I don't say anything political about it, except that people seem to want Jews, I'm a Jew, to like declare a side. The joke is basically I don't tell anybody my politics unless they make me come. And then I go into, a whole thing. But would you believe it? My material is dirty. But what? When I said that in New York, I could feel that people were trying to figure out like, oh, are you like a a good Jew, like a pro-peace, pro-Palestine, or pro-Palestine, peace-loving Jew. And when I said that, people were like, "What?" Like cheering so hardcore. And then I'm
Yeah.
like, "Are you a dirty Zionist whore?"
And that's when they cheer in Austin.
Well, yeah, I mean, in Austin, they don't know. They don't know. They
Yeah.
don't. They don't. They don't care. Like nobody. It's like, I think what I like about Austin is people just go, I don't know. Oh, well, it sounds crazy. You know, they don't have like a political. They might
attachment
like Trump
to their comedy.
Well, they might like Trump. They might. There's a lot of obviously liberal people here because it's the capital. It's a liberal city.
Mm-hmm.
But you do get a lot of Republicans, and nobody fucking cares. And I'm like, thank you, because why do we have to
politicize comedy all the time?
Or why can't we talk about things without it being like, I am leaving. It's like, oh my God, like I can't. I mean, it's like I can't help but want to compare it to fingering someone, but it's like
yes, more fingering analogies.
I guess it's like, imagine somebody who's like, they've got all these rules, and if you finger them even a little bit to the left or the right, they'll be like, I'm not gonna come this way. It's like,
no,
yeah, you're not gonna come. I'm not the person to make you come. It's like,
yeah,
you shouldn't be trying to come with anyone but yourself right now. That's how I feel about people coming to comedy who need to have the comedian be a certain thing. It's like
on their side politically or whatever.
Yeah, because like it's just so people are you're such a big person. Each person has like, there's so much to you, to how you see the world, and if you need us to align on even like some or most things, it's just not going to happen. Everybody's so different, so you just fuck right off, basically.
Yes, I love that. That has been like the bane of my existence for 10 years, is that everybody feels the need to be totally aligned with like 95% of everything a person says or does or has ever fucking thought. Yeah. And it's hard. Like I'm doing my best in comedy, but I don't always feel embraced by comedy in general, just as a straight heteronormative white guy. Like I'm not high on the list these days, and that's how it goes. That's life. But I don't know what to do about it other than just doing comedy and living my life. Like, comedy has moved a little lower on the list of priorities because I was following this like personal training goal and like that kind of stuff. So it's like everything just kind of, I'm like, I want to go to bed at 11. I want to be able to go to sleep before midnight. And if I'm doing sets at 10 or 10:30 or 11, then I'm buzzing for 2 hours after that. And my sleep is choppy, and I'm not the person that I want to pick up in the morning. I'm the grumpy kid at 7 a.m. or whatever.
It is hard. That's something that I'm seeing. Like last night, a friend of mine from New York, she's a good friend, she was here to do a roast battle at the Mothership, Joe Rogan's club. And I know what the Mothership is, but just in case somebody doesn't know,
they might not.
Yeah. So it's like, so she won. She's very funny. Malia Simon is her name. She's one of the top roasters in the country. She's 24, and I didn't know she was going to be here because she thought I was in London now. So she called me. She's like, are you in Austin? And I said, yeah. And she was like, I'm here just for tonight. My flight's at 7 a.m. I'm going to the airport it was like at 5 a.m.
Right.
So I was like on the couch about to eat dinner, have a quiet night. I've been doing way too much. I feel kind of like a shell of myself. But I was like, all right, I'll fucking come out. And then we hung out, and I know her because she and someone else had written a play that I was in Edinburgh during the Fringe Festival last year. And then I also was doing my solo show. So we hung out in Edinburgh and we became really tight. But I hadn't seen her in, I don't know, 6-8 months. And you forget when you're not with someone how well you get along with them and how much fun it is. So she's 24, I'm 40. We had so much fun. And then
love
I was, and I was like, well, I gotta go. I have to go home. And then she's like, well, I'm going to Creek in the Cave, which is like one of the bigger, clubs here for the hang. And I was like, all right, I'll drop you off. I'm not coming. I'm not coming in.
I'm not going in.
No. And then we sat outside, just fucking chit chatting for so long. And then I was like, all right, fine. And then I went in, and then and it was like I got home at 2:15 in the morning, and then I didn't go to sleep until after 3. It was like 3:30. And then I always wake up like at 8:39. So today I was like, I woke up early. I woke up at that time. I drank coffee. I stripped the bed. And then I just sat here and was like, I don't know how to do anything. I don't know what to do. I still have to finish my taxes. It's like I got the 6-month extension. It's due in like a week. I've only done a quarter of the work. Like, but it's just, you're trying to like balance like these crazy hours and this creative,
endeavor,
exactly. And then like the practical of like, I need to make online content, which is not the same part of your brain that writes or performs comedy. It's like a totally different thing.
It's the 9 to 5 part. And it's like 80% of comedy now is like the sitting down in the chair and doing the bullshit that isn't writing and telling jokes.
Right. And it's the part that I struggled with so much that I decided not to have any money so I could be a comedian. And now you're telling me that in order to keep going, I have to, like, I can keep going the way I'm going. And, opportunities come up and things are good, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, really, I see these people and I see them bomb on stage, like eat so many dicks, like slowly, just
slow like eating dicks.
Yeah. And not like ironically, like, like sincerely just eating dicks. And then you go to their Instagram and they have like 250,000 followers.
Yeah.
And the career, and maybe they have merch and they have tours set up. And it's like, wow. So that exists and I don't have it. And if I want it, I guess I have to kind of become a little bit different from who I am, which is hard.
Right. Totally reprioritize stuff. It's like really hard to figure out where to, like, how to get into the industry. Like, if you want to do this somehow and move forward, it's like you just have to swing away and keep freaking hacking at the weeds in front of you. You don't know what's in front of them. Usually it's just way more weeds, way more garbage, way more blackberries. I'm just covered in blackberries. That's comedy. And my literal yard that I live in. And
I was like, oh, how did blackberries get into this? I'm like, I would love that. And then I'm like, oh, you're looking at blackberries.
Yeah, they're right there. There's a giant raised bed full of blackberries, totally unkept. And behind it is but like 20 yards by 20 yards of 10-foot tall weed plants that are not mine. They're my neighbors, but it's like pretty gorgeous. It's right out there. And I'm like, oh, that'd be fun.
Really nice. There's something like, because you live alone, right? This place that I'm looking at is yours.
I live in a cottage in my mother's backyard.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. I'm so wet now. So I thought I was wet before.
You're not alone, Eve.
But you know what? It's like, because the way that you describe things, look on paper, it doesn't sound. You're like, yeah, I live with my mom's, and that.
Oh no, we got to pause. On paper, it doesn't what?
Oh, there you go. You just disappeared for a second. Can you hear me?
We're back. Now we're back. Okay. You goes on paper. It. It what? What is it on paper?
Yeah. My pussy hung up this call. Yeah, it's like. No, but it's like when you describe yourself in a self-deprecating way, it's like, or I guess it's like when you kind of boil people down to like the way that probably you feel about yourself, or I feel like the way that we kind of are meant to like evaluate ourselves based on the cultural zeitgeist. It's like, all right, like we're both like, are you single? Single, never married, no kids, like been doing stand-up for a long time, funny, no,
broke.
Broke, not headlining, living in mother's cottage, living in a one room, like I'm in my kitchen and my bedroom and my living room right now. It's
crushing it.
Yeah. And yet we're better than everyone. No, no, but I guess it's like you just, I don't know what it's like. There's this part that goes, well, I can't be the other thing that I guess other like I can be more successful financially. Like I will be, I think I will be. And I'm sure you will be. And we're neither of us is going to live in our parents' anything unless we want to. Maybe you do. Maybe you love it. Maybe you're there for support. Maybe your mom is your best friend, and that actually is creepy. But but it's like,
I love how you turn every potential compliment into a harsh insult. As soon as you catch the nerve that you're like, oh, I'm being a little too nice to this person, fuck that guy. Like you go right there real quick. And I'm like, oh, I thought we were.
no, you discovered why I'm single. Like you just found the exact reason.
Constantly nagging.
Yeah. Well, and I don't even mean to. It's just like, I think like I even when someone does really well on stage, I go, look at you crushing. Look at you doing so good. Or I'll go, good set. I knew you could do it. Finally,
And that's Brian Regan.
Is that like a famous comic? I don't even know.
Brian Regan's one of the biggest touring comics out there.
It's so funny that I just don't even know. I'm like,
right.
Yeah.
He's one of those people who's like so mainstream that comics might not even be super aware of, which is too bad because he's like the middle America Pete Holmes.
Okay.
But like successful and big, and like he's doing the tour buses and selling out state. Anyways, Brian Regan's funny.
It's funny that there is a middle, like I feel like Pete Holmes is middle America, but no, he's like Pete Holmes is like a coastal middle American man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's on HBO, so he's got to be at least a little cool.
Right, yeah, but he's like religious and clean. So you're like, there's a middle American version of a middle American man. You know?
Yeah, it's even more in the middle.
But for the record, when I neg you, it's only for the punchline, for the laugh. It's not because I think you're a beautiful, lovely man. By the way, I was thinking about this before this podcast. I don't think you knew. Do you remember Lebo, my friend who started?
Yeah, he'll be on the pod sometime.
Did you guys talk about it?
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah, we're still very good friends. So
Love
you know,
it.
I'm shocked he didn't go through me to set this up, but that's fine. But we adored you. Did you know that?
I mean, I felt good vibes from you and Lebo for sure. I adored you guys. You guys were a blast.
No, like we had like a joint super crush on you. He's gay.
Ooh.
Like, and we'd be like, Rudy's just like such a feminist. Like because he would. Do you remember like there was that guy who was like pretty mentally he was kind of crazy, and he would and do you remember, I don't remember his name, and
I mean there's a lot of those in Korea.
Yeah, this guy like he kept like doing a lot of like rape jokes, and then he said like he was a product of rape. Do you remember this? So we were like in the group chat.
Yeah.
Like remember there was like a group chat because there were only like 20 comics in all of
right
Seoul.
Korean Seoul comics.
Right. And he would just like, we'd be like, yeah, blah, 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 funny video. And then he'd be like, rape that pussy. Like he would just like come in and be like, and then you were like the moderator, like the kind of godfather of Korean of Seoul comedy.
Okay.
And you would be like, hey guys, this is we're a group of comedians, but let's remember that we all come from different places. Like it was so like right, and then me and Lebo would be on Kakao Talk with like a million emojis, like Rudy, yeah, like just
I'm just heavy into nonviolent communication.
Oh my God, that's
in
so
the middle
funny.
of comedy.
Yes, but it was like it was such a funny. Such a funny pedestal to be on that you didn't of course even know you were on, but I think also because we were so new, and it's like you really were like the curator of the scene. You would choose everybody who would open for whoever, and I think you made both of us feel very seen very quickly, and for that I owe you everything. All right, and there's no I don't even have a thing. I could nag you, but I won't.
You could.
I'm just gonna leave it. I'll be like, you pathetic, weak. No.
Well, if you owe me everything, then I'm in debt.
Well, I don't even get what that means.
I think the math worked out.
Oh, because I'm in debt, so then
Yeah.
you're in debt.
Yeah.
It's like the transitive property for I see. I was having a nice moment with you, and then
Sorry,
you
I had to
just,
do the neg.
You just had to shit on. Oh yeah, thanks for the nothing, Eve. That's what you.
That was actually the
Yeah.
sentiment that came
Yeah,
out. Yeah.
Wow,
Thanks
it's
for
so
nothing.
good. Yeah, I'm so glad I contributed to your flourishing career like that.
Yeah.
That's your...
I'm gonna shit all over that pedestal. Good luck stepping on it because no one will want
Oh,
to.
that's what it's about. You don't like being complimented.
I don't know. I think I might not.
Yeah.
I think I might not like being complimented. I kind of might like insults in a weird way more, but then when I get
Oh.
insulted, I can't handle them and I just cry.
That's so funny. So you were like, "Oh, she's being mean to me, but I don't like it." But do I? And then I'm like, "Okay, no, you're actually like a really good person." And you're like, "Oh, get away!" Like now you're just
Yeah.
like recoiling. Yeah.
Yeah, very
Maybe you're
back to
just
playgrounds.
Gay. Maybe that's what this is.
Could be. I could be way gay.
um,
Sorry, you can dream a little more about that.
about you being gay.
Yeah, is that a thing you think is cool
I think it's cool.
or hot?
Hot? Do I think it's hot when I find out that more men won't sleep with me? No.
Okay, great.
To me, every gay man is just a man who's rejecting me. That's all I.
That's a stone cold rejection
That's
of
so funny.
Eve.
I've never said that before, but that is very. That's yeah. I'm gonna write that down. I think
That's a very Eve way to look at it.
Yeah. Oh, you're gay. Good for you. So we're not gonna fuck. Is that what you're? Because it's
Cool.
like they're like, I'm 75, and I'm like, yeah, but that's not the point I'm making. You know.
Yeah.
It was on the table, and you're taking it off. So.
But then they're like, I didn't know it was on the table. I'm old.
Yeah. I'm like, well, we could have slept together, and
It
you
would've
don't
been
even know
great.
this, but I'm like the fountain of youth. You know, I'd make you younger.
Would you have a sugar daddy?
No, I'm sure I could. Like, I'm sure if I just like decided to give up on myself, I could find a man. Isn't that what like a lot of marriage is? Like just like marrying a guy who you don't really like that much, but he pays for you. So you're like,
right.
I really did think, yeah, that's a lot. Go ahead.
It is. I heard there was a scene that they cut out of Ferris Bueller's Day Off where the female lead was like, well, also I'm a woman, so I can just marry somebody. And it like landed so poorly with audiences. The truth of the situations for most folks, it's like a lot of women can and do marry for status. And that, I mean, what did I see somewhere on a movie or a show? It might even have been a documentary, but someone was like, only fools marry for love. Because it's like, that's a new invention. Marriage for love is like totally in the last 3 generations, People
weren't marrying for love when we were in Korea.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, they would try to make it seem like that, but it was like, you don't even like this guy, Like, it was so obvious. And you know what really was hard? A lot of the women I taught, like like the private students, who were like in their 30s or 40s, they'd lived overseas for a couple of years and they came back and they wanted to keep up their English. And they could not be in relationships with Korean men because having lived overseas, they'd had a kind of freedom that you just don't get, or at least at that time that women just didn't get in Korea. And so when they came back and these guys expected them to kind of be Korean women, they were like, no.
That
and it was really
sucks.
hard. And I knew people who like, they were just like, some of them, they get to like the old miss, they get to be like 28 and it's like, uh-oh, this cow's gonna dry up any minute. But it was like, once you passed like 35 in Korea, if you weren't married, that was kind of it. And I knew a bunch of women who they just did it. They got in under the line. They were like, well, he doesn't hit me. You know what I mean? But then I think now, from what I've heard, it's just people have stopped getting married and having kids there. Women have
in Korea.
Yeah, their like marriage and birth rate is just totally plummeted.
That's crazy. I do remember like even students I worked at a women's university talking about like their love of the country as a reason potentially to have a family.
Wow.
And that is why a lot of people do that. Like have families. So my friend is like, I vote. He's very funny. He's a dentist. He's like, he has 3 or 4 blonde sons. He's like, well, I vote like a Democrat, but I fuck like a Republican. And and I just love that idea because so many Republicans are the ones out there having kids. Who are the ones who don't have kids? College educated people. Who are the ones who vote left?
True.
College educated people. Like that's how it is. And so like, I mean, the future of the country might be in peril, you know, with all these conservatives fucking.
It's true everywhere. So like, have I mentioned that I'm Jewish? But in Israel, Israel was like a really left, like, you know, people have all their, I mean, it's like if people are like, it's a fucking settler colonial state, well, then they probably won't care about it. You know, it's like anything I say, it's already like yelling into the wind. But it was a super liberal country, but the liberal people have fewer kids. The people who have the most kids are super religious and fanatical. And that's what's going on. It was what was going on before this whole thing started, was that it was becoming more and more right wing. And then right wing Jews are similar to right wing any religion, where they're intolerant of other religions, gay people, women, all this stuff. The funny thing about, I mean, I think about the Hasidic Jews is that, you know, Israel, the reason why they have existed this long is because they've had a strong military. But, you know, because a lot of these people are like, they're like, I call them desert Jews, you know, like they're just like, they're from Iran, they're from Yemen, they're from, you know, Uzbekistan, like they're from like rugged regions. But when you get these fucking religious Hasidim, you know, the guys with the curls and the whatever, who I hate, I'm Jewish, I can say it.
Okay, there you go.
And you get them and you try to give them a gun. It's not going to, these are not the people who were saving the land. You know, they're, I mean, they literally are inbred. I mean, what I'm saying is probably really horrible, but they marry way too close to their bloodline. Yeah.
Cousins and second or whatever. Yeah.
Because there's so many. Each family has like 10 or 12 kids and they all live in the same area and they all marry each other. And it's like, I mean, there's so many in a small area and everybody's married. So it's like, yeah, this is not going to work out the way that you think it will. So you have these. So anyway, recently they ruled that they have to serve in the military because they were exempt. And so they're controlling the Knesset, the, you know, kind of the political landscape, but then they didn't have to serve in the military. So now they do. But anyway, my point is I hate Jews. That's what's so funny about having to pick a side. You're like, listen, just leave Jews alone for long enough and we will talk shit about Jews. Like, you don't have to, but once you tell me I got to choose, I'm in or I'm out, you know, Israel, pro or anti, it's like, well, of course I'm going to be defiant, you know?
There you go. Well, you can give us as many history lessons and present lessons on Judaism as you want. But I do want to know also about what you're working on comedically. Like, how are you in comedy these days? What's going on for you? You're working on, you mentioned an Edinburgh show. I'm also always interested to hear about that. What's in the pipeline for Eve these days?
I am working on a show that I can only do one time because at the very end I kill myself on stage.
What the fuck? Me and Carrot Top are touring.
This is my art. You had such an interested face too.
I was like, oh, here we go. Let's see what Eve's up to.
One-time show. What's this?
Yeah.
Oh, she's kidding. Is she not?
She got me. Is she though?
Yeah. No. I am working on. You know, who knows? So the show that I did in Edinburgh was called Dead Mom Stuff, about my mom dying when I was a kid. And by the way, I don't know if you remember this. You were there at my first set ever of all time. Do you remember this?
How did it go?
I was naked. You tell me. No, I don't think I got a lot of laughs, but I knew immediately. I was like, it was supportive. It was at Tony's Australian pub.
Nice. That's where mine was. First one was too.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
But you did it there and then you left and then came back. Is that right?
I was there in 2010 2008 for a year, didn't do stand up, came back in 10, started stand up in 2010.
And then didn't leave Korea.
For 7 years, I lived there or something like that.
Because I thought that because I started doing stand up in 2013, I thought that you had done it in the U.S. at some point.
Every time I ever went back, I would have done comedy in the States.
Okay.
Essentially.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Because you had that like vibe of like, I've been outside, I've seen the world. Like it was like that. We were like, Rudy's done stand up in Oregon or like whatever.
It's wild out here.
Yeah. I mean, compared to Seoul, it was. But
yeah.
But sorry, so the reason I brought that up is that you were also there the first time I ever talked about my mom dying on stage when I wrote the worst set I've ever written, because it was a total lie where I basically made fun of myself for. Do you remember this?
Fill me in.
Okay. So it was like, instead of being like, my mom died when I was a kid and this is what's crazy or hard or funny or whatever, I was like, my mom died when I was a kid. She died to get away from me. It was like that vibe where I was like, and I would be like, it was like the truth is that whenever I wanted to get out of things when I was a kid, I go, my mom died. I'd be like,
yeah.
like it worked a lot. But
I bet.
Oh yeah, I still do it.
Yeah.
I was working on a joke for it the other day where it's like, if I'm running late and people are mad, I'm like, my mother is dead. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want from me? It must be easy to be punctual when you grew up with two parents.
You're giving a crappy blowjob, and the guy's like, "Are you okay?"
No, I give a great blowjob because my mother died.
Oh.
like that one, I would think that he would get way quicker. It's like, yeah, I'm like, never leave ever, and then they're like, I don't want anything from you, but you're crazy. But broken women, best head. Anybody who like grew up feeling fine, where she's just like, yeah, I think I'm enough, she's not gonna give a great blowjob.
They suck at blowjays.
Yeah, because she doesn't care if you're like, yeah, this isn't good for me. She's like, well, okay, I guess you can leave.
Cool, we'll see ya. Bye.
Yeah, bye. I'm gonna sit over here feeling fine.
My jaw, I'll just feel better.
Yeah. My jaw will feel better. I feel whole anyway. But I wrote that set. It was basically like, oh yeah, my mom, when I was a kid, anytime I wanted to get out of something, I'd be like, I miss mom, but it was like, I took something, it was like, I didn't have the ability to like actually acknowledge stuff. I just was trying to make fun of it, and nobody, it was such a bomb. And it was like a bomb that hurt so much because it was such a personal bomb. And I remember coming out of Tony's, and it happened to be like packed that night. Like, and I ate shit so hard, and I walked out, and you were outside, and you were like, "Hey, yeah, okay, see you next time." And also, I'm really sorry about your mom. And I was like, ugh, like it was the worst, because it was like, no, I'm not sad. Like, of course I was like totally sad, but I was like, don't see through. But it's like, everybody saw through what I was saying,
right.
And, so I didn't really talk about my mom dying until I did the show in Edinburgh. I mean, I started working on it for the show, but I never really went back to that because it hurt so much to bomb about something so personal. But then I felt like I came back to the US during COVID, and I kind of was forced to like live near my family for the first time since I was a kid. It just made me kind of sit with the fact that my mom still wasn't there, and a lot of my family dysfunction is around that. Like, just, my dad is just a guy, but a guy unmoderated by a mom. At least I gotta have a stepmom, but she's not like that. Right. If anything, she was kind of shitty when I was a kid. And
you need that counterbalance.
You need a mom to go. You need to go for a walk. You know what I mean? You need someone to go. You're being let's go to the other room and talk about this.
Yeah.
Or just like to say go to bed. You need a mom to. I mean, there's like
Mhm.
you need the mom to be
Mhm.
raised by mom, but also someone to like tell the dad to stop being a dick sometimes. And
Right.
even today, my dad was like, "You were really difficult. You were such a brat." He said that to me, and I'm like, "You're such an
Oh.
asshole." Like, and he doesn't even.
Yeah.
He's not even trying to start a fight. He
Right.
just thinks like, "Why were you not like a good, nice young woman?" It's like, well,
Yeah.
I was a teenager and my mother was dead and my father was you. So I wasn't in the best mood. Like,
I wasn't. Yeah, I mean that's a big
that's,
try.
I'm going to go back. Don't edit that out. I'm taking that verbatim and using it as a joke.
Oh, it's going. I'll send it to you.
That's because I'm trying to figure out how to like really get into the deeper part of it.
Right.
And it's hard to articulate it,
Mhm.
like, but that's it,
Yeah, and sometimes those off the cuff things where you're just speaking honestly in the flow of whatever it is,
Yeah.
and they come out super harsh, but
Yes.
also super true is when they hit.
Yes.
And it's like the other day, we had an open mic and there was a show prior to it. Matt Bronger was headlining, and so he and some other people were around at this tiny mic with 10 people and 10 comics only. And I said, so it was going poorly, it's 10:30 on a Thursday, nobody's out, and I was like, just crickets. And at one point I was like, I keep trying to convince myself that I don't suck at comedy. And and it just came out in such a way, like that's not how I'm always feeling. You know what I but it was just a statement that came out that popped.
Yeah.
And then afterwards people were like, "Oh no, Rudy is mean to himself."
Oh,
Or
they
like
took it seriously.
sometimes, yeah. And so it's like I have such a hard time punching down. I can't even punch myself sometimes, like I'm like I just go straight to my own core of like all of it. It's like ripping out my guts and then putting them out in front of people, and it's just hard to know. People don't want to see you going through shit on stage.
No.
They want to know that you've gone through it.
Yes, and that you have like a fun take. Yeah, you're like, and we're all alive, and one day it'll be over, but isn't it great? Like,
and that's usually me.
Yeah, well, I think it's like, I guess what comics kind of do is like, God, this is so hard, but here we are, and like when I feel good, I can do that better. But then again, sometimes when I'm most miserable is when I'm funniest. I don't really know. I kind of wish I wish I had more of like a developed process, I guess. Like I'm trying, my friend is doing very well. My friend James McCann, he like opens for Shane Gillis, and
nice.
And so he's doing very well, and I'm gonna start.
And fuck that
him.
guy.
Yeah, fuck him. He's unfortunately he's been great to me. Very good friend, piece of shit. I nag him all the time, and
constantly.
And all he does is continue to be my friend, and I hate it.
It sucks.
Yeah, no, it's like he's Australian. He moved here with his wife and 3 kids. I'm a fantastic friend to them. And like he's a good friend to me. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
I love it. I love
it. Doesn't mean we're not, Sometimes he'll say things and I get very sensitive and I'll be like, that like really hurt my feeling. And he's like, okay, all right. I didn't mean it that way. Like she's getting kind of hormonal, and I'm like, am I? And I'm like, yeah, I am. But like, I don't want you to say that. But so I'm opening for him, and so he's a really good person who kind of reminds me of like, don't worry about it, just focus on because I want to write like a new Killer 5 or Killer 10, and I've been working on stuff, and he's like, focus on the 5, focus on the 10, get it tighter, tighter, and he's like been going like 14 years pretty solidly, and it's like he only now is just really beginning to do well. I mean, very well. And he's like in his stride. It's like the thing that we all tell ourselves that we can do if we just keep going, and then we go, but can I? Will I? And then I see him doing it, and I'm like, ugh, I guess I have to just keep fucking going. you know, and then like change and grow and all that other bullshit. But you know, but like, so it's like I'm trying to just, yeah, I guess with that show about my mom, I did it in Edinburgh. It was about her dying. I feel like I didn't get to the true truth, like the deepest truth, like what I said about my dad, you know, just like that feeling. I didn't have stuff in there that was that deep because it was just the first time I'd ever really talked about my mom, you know. So it was like a little bit, it was the best I could do at the time. But and people would be like, it's a great show, I really loved it, and I was like, I just didn't love it. I did it as a work in progress show. I want to I think I want to bring it back. I'm really mad at my stepmother currently because she's becoming more of a bitch in her elderly years. And it's been good for me because I'm like, I always knew you were like this. I always knew. And now I can just write a joke about it because I always felt like I should be trying to keep the peace and whatever. She's not going to see my stand up.
Yeah.
But it's like, and she also told me years ago that I could do whatever I wanted to. I could say whatever I wanted to say about her on stage, which is nice.
That is nice.
Yes, but then she's, you know, becoming cuntier as time goes on. So
it'll be easier.
Yeah, but I feel like that was what was missing from my show. Is like I really wasn't being mean enough, you know, honest enough about how I grew up.
Because I mean, that's where I'm laughing today in our chat is just like when you go gnarly and dark and mean, that is the pressure release valve for me. Like I like that type of stuff from my friends. I like when you go to a place that is just the most ridiculous thing you could say right now. And I think that's how a lot of good comedy comes out is like, what can I say right now to these people that are in the room with me that are feeling these sensations? And then you say it and it feels so good, but it's so hard to recreate sometimes because it is so present based
and so personal. Like, that's the thing is I end up talking about sex a lot, or not sex, but just about being. You're like, oh, do you? What? You got the eyes going. Yeah.
I was licking my microphone again.
But it's like I can be really funny talking about that. I talk about my new thing is about how I got horny when I go to the gynecologist. Duh. And like, what, Eve? I don't believe it. It's like, yeah, of course I do. But it's like, you know, and I have a joke that I am working on that I really do. It's very fun, but it's like I've done so many iterations of like, and then I get wet and it's the wrong moment, or like, you know, and it's like, what about like what I said about my dad, you know, where I'm like, yeah, of course I was fucking angry. You were my father, and I was, do you know what I mean? Like, just like, I want to be like, you're incompetent. You know, and it's not because of your age. It's because of, and I love you, and you did a great job, and you're a failure. You know, like I just, I wanna, like, because today he made some joke about like, I think I was an okay dad, or he was doing a rhyme. It was like, I wasn't a bad dad, right? And I go, do you want me to tell you what I think? And he's like, oh, I don't, oh, well, sure. And it's like, are you sure? You know, like, because I'll just be honest, where I'm like, you're born in the 30s and you did a great job for someone your age, but also I was 50 years younger than you. And you could be an asshole, I said to him. And, you know, and then he's like, oh, well, look at, you were such a brat, you know, and it's like, yeah, here we go. Oh, I've never heard this before. Yeah.
So that's when brat came out, after you called him an asshole.
I mean, actually, the truth is it didn't come out right then. It came out. And I didn't actually, I mean, it's like, I've called him an asshole before. He was, I think I can't remember which one came first, but he always insists, you were a very difficult child. It's like, yeah, was I difficult because I watched my mother die? So I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I was mean to you, an adult, you know, like,
sorry, Dad.
It's just such a crazy concept to me that my father still thinks I should have been sweeter when he was abandoning me for my stupid fucking stepmother. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, it's like, I'm sorry that I wanted to be raised by someone.
Sorry, I needed a parent, and you weren't there'nt. How's that for a rhyme, Dad?
Look at you. But you know, but it's also like, and then you go, God, I also really love him like probably more than anybody alive. No offense.
Yeah.
You're second,
Fuck.
Yeah.
Again with the meanness.
Yeah. Kill this man. I do have a niece and nephew and some other nieces too. I love my nieces and nephew, but
Great.
so
I'll
I don't
let
know. They
them
might
live.
say again. Long may
I'll
they
let
live.
them live.
Yeah, all right. Well, I just mean they might outrank my father at some point.
Fair.
But I love him so much, and you go, wow, it's crazy. Like I can see all your insane flaws that are so gaping that like
your gaping flaws.
Your gaping. I'll tell you what, it was a gaping flaw when I was visiting not long ago. My dad sleeps on a chair now in the living room because like he's too, he had back surgery, can't lie down, whatever. So he goes. And I came in, I think I had a show in the city and I took the train back to where they are in the suburbs. And he was changing in his pajamas in the living room for bed, bending over with no underwear on. And I looked away very quickly, but something in me has not been the same. You see an 89-year-old man.
So that's what you're working on in your comedy, is to get rid of that.
Working on my therapy. That's what I'm
yeah.
I'm doing EMDR. I'm like, just get
it again. There's a hole in your brain, dear Liza, dear Liza.
That's what happened was that I said that I saw my dad's asshole and you were just like, end it.
No, we're done. We're done.
I saw this Mark Maron clip the other day on Instagram that he posted from one of his HBO specials. I met him, by the way, recently. Hung out for a little bit. No big deal. We had a nice chat. But
whatever. Cool.
Yeah, sucked his dick. I was so good at it because my mom died. And he was one of the few people ever that I felt a bit tongue-tied around. I was like, because I don't really get the celebrity thing. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, whatever.
Cool.
Like but him, I was like, I really respect Mark Maron. I really like him. But he had this clip about he goes, it's like must have just been at the end of a thing where he's like ranting about his parents. And he's like, people are like, aren't you a little old to be complaining about your parents or to be mad at your parents? And he's like, no. And he's like, they did it. It's not even that great of it's not like a clever joke, but it's just no. And I think it feels like I have both things where people will tell me, like my brother will just be like, why are you still mad about, or why do you still even think about it? My brother's always like, wow, he goes, it must be nice to be able to think. I'm so busy with my kids and my job. And I'm like, all right.
Cool, sure.
Do you have a sister, don't you?
I have a sister, I do.
Younger? Older?
Older.
And does she have kids?
No.
Okay. So
the bloodline ends.
Wow. You don't want kids?
I don't see kids happening for me.
Did you want them?
It was never a thing. I was like, can't wait to be a dad.
Yeah, you'd be a good dad. You really would be.
Thanks. Yeah.
When you could stop crying.
Yeah. I'd cry long enough to not hit them.
Yeah. Daddy loves you. He just can't stop feeling sad about the past. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know where the sadness comes from, but it's there.
Do you have a lot of sadness?
I don't know if it's sadness, but I have a lot of emotions that I allow myself to feel, whether they're low or high.
Yeah.
Always
love that about you. I've always, when in our group chat, Lebo and we still keep it up. We talk about what's Rudy doing now. Wouldn't that be creepy if you found out that we still had that cacao talk going 10 years later?
Cacao talk?
Yeah, cacao talk.
Yeah.
But that was the thing. Cacao talk. And it's just screenshots of your Instagram, like pictures of cats that you put up. Over the years. I love it.
Please do. Yeah, let me know and put it to, and then your phone will make a montage of it and put it to music, like it does for every group of photos. For any, look at the stuff on your phone right now, and they're like, you'll be like, oh, I didn't know I had a whole montage of Jake Hannis on my phone or whatever, whoever from Korea.
That's so funny. He and I got into some argument, I think during the Me Too movement or something.
Of course.
I was just like, it's crazy how you can be so rabid in a certain, I was rabid during the Me Too movement, which, like,
Meaning what?
Meaning I was like, believe all women. Like, I just,
Yeah.
and even though I knew that some like bitches be crazy, but I think I just was like, on the whole, I mean,
Ready to fight for women.
yeah, I mean, to me, though, I will say my exception was always if there's rumors, shadowy, whatever, you can't cancel somebody without somebody else like without there being like a clear like what did they do. You can't
Right.
be like, oh, this guy seems creepy, or I've heard
Right.
whatever. It's like, is somebody gonna say in a group
He-
or to a booker, you know,
This guy
rape me.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Fuck.
Yeah, I mean, well, you were like, I'm like, just you guys, I'll say rape. I know it's not your word. It's my word.
Not, I don't say it.
Yeah. Stop appropriating my culture.
It's so sad.
I'll say it for you. Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I just thought like you can't, like, because I was assaulted, and I think that's why I was so rabid. I think I told you that when I was living in Australia, right? I think we chatted once, didn't we?
I'm not sure if I knew that.
Oh yeah, so I was assaulted in Australia. I'm fine now. I'm really fine. No, I am. I like went to therapy. I Me Too'd the fuck out of this person, but I also was so open about exactly what happened, and it was also somebody that it was like not surprising to anybody except for me. Like everyone was like, "Oh, you got assaulted by the rapist guy." Like it was just like nobody was like, it's like going over, it's like having a guy in town that they call like pedophile Tom, and then you send your kid over to spend the night, and then it's like your kid was molested by pedophile Tom. Like what?
I didn't see it coming.
Yeah, but for me it was because it was a cultural difference, because when you're you don't realize, like, even though it's like the same language, when you're in a different country, there's just certain things that you don't pick up on in people.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like
Totally.
that other people in that culture get and you don't see.
So yeah, here's a thing not akin to your situation, but maybe providing a little more context. I went home with an Australian woman after a show once. I rarely did that. Done
raped her. Sorry. I know.
Well, it's the exact opposite of that. Like we were together, like making out, fooling around, didn't have a condom, and I was not going to sleep with someone who we didn't have protection, and so. And she got frustrated, and this is not the only time something like this has happened, but she was an Australian woman, and she was like, I think you should just fuck me like a man, or whatever.
Oh my God.
Are her exact words. And it was like, and that has like stayed with me. It's a thing.
And so not that this, but was she drunk or no?
I mean, it was after a show. We'd probably had 5 to 8 drinks each. You know what I mean?
Wow. I mean, well, 5 to 8 drinks, I would be like puking, but most people, I guess, wouldn't be.
I have no clear necessarily recollection of like the amount of drinks.
Right. But
I wasn't like blasted or anything.
Right. And so but this was her being her. This was not her being out of her mind, basically.
Right.
And did you guys have sex after that?
No.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
What does a man fuck you like? A man fucks you without concern for the future or safety or anything?
I guess for her, but like I just can't, like, bullying someone into sex is like so not gonna work.
It's such an Eve move.
Do you know what though? It's so funny.
Your dick can't get hard? Your little dick can't get hard? Oh fuck.
That actually is a joke that I had too, that I never really kept. I was like, I think if you are having,
you didn't keep it up.
Well, yeah. I was thinking like a joke about how, like, if you're having sex, or if you're like in a situation where you like really don't want to sleep with someone, but you don't want to hurt their feelings. You could just be like, look at that hard dick. Look at that big hard dick. Oh, where's he going? Where's that big hard dick? You could just baby talk a dick you don't want to deal with.
Right to sleep. Yeah. Right to sleep.
Yeah.
Oh.
But to me, that was so funny. Just the idea of like, because I was saying like how funny I think it would be to baby talk a dick, but that you could only do it if you didn't want to fuck the guy. because no guy is, or something. What's worse is that there probably is a guy who would get really hard with that.
Oh, there's a lot of guys, I bet, who'd love it.
Yeah, my plan is not really foolproof here, but yeah, that's but no, I did realize in my early 20s when there was a very confusing situation I was in with somebody who like wanted to sleep in my bed even though he was in another room. I was like, you have your own room. I don't want you to stay in my bed if we're not going to have sex, basically.
Mhm.
And he was like insistent upon staying in my bed. But then we're making it like, just, it was like, we ended up sleeping together and stopping in the middle. It was like all very
Mhm.
uncomfortable.
Mhm.
But it was like, I actually thought about it during that time where I was like, God, how does he feel about this? I actually still
Mhm.
kind of know him through, through the
The
whatever.
internet.
Not the internet, just through like people, kind of. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
Okay.
distantly. And I've seen him and it's actually fine. But at that time I hadn't seen him in a long time. And I was like, does this guy feel like I don't know.
Took
whatever.
advantage of him,
Right,
or
right. But then someone else, I told them a story and they were like, he insisted on sleeping in your bed. It just sounds like two kids who kind of didn't really know
how
how
to go
to,
about any of it.
yeah, how to have boundaries and what to do
Mhm.
with that,
Yeah.
I mean, I did handcuff him and tape his mouth and then force his dick into my body. Okay. I forced Viagra in his mouth before I put the tape on, and then I got hard. I sat on it. Okay, it's like that's actually that is a rape joke, but it's funnier when I say it.
Way funnier.
Yeah. If it's for a man, imagine a man being like, and then I tied her up, and it's like, oh God, no. But when I'm like,
it sucks. It sucks that's funny. It's stupid and dumb. And people, there's a whole genre of comedy dedicated to shitting on men right now. It's the whole
Yes.
punchline for a lot of comics I see out there. And
Right.
I'm like, I thought we were friends. Like, that's how I feel sometimes. I'm like,
Right.
yeah, okay, all right. And like,
Yeah.
honestly, it just makes it harder to enjoy. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
have to agree with everything you say, but if half of your punchlines are about how stupid straight white males are, I don't
Well,
know where to go with that.
I think it's just like not interesting. I don't know that kills in many places that aren't like a super liberal town. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
bring that to a theater or an
Mm.
arena,
Mhm.
and for the most part, nobody's really laughing. And I know people who are on Netflix doing shit like that, and they have a built-in audience. They
Right.
and they have whatever, and it's like they have a thing, but are people talking about them? Not really,
Yeah.
because it's just like it's like fad comedy. It's kind of what
Mhm.
like, I mean, what's his name? I mean, I guess he was actually super famous at the time. I was gonna say like Al Jolson was like with his blackface back in the day. But now that I
Mhm.
think about it, I'm like, yeah, it was just like a niche thing. And I'm like, no, actually, he was like mega famous, so that's a bad comparison. But I'm like, he's pandering. He's pandering. But I think it's comedy that's ephemeral. It doesn't last. Nobody quotes it later and goes, oh my God,
Right.
remember this person who was so good? But it is hard to, I guess, be a straight white man in that room. But now I see that with people talking about like Zionists, and I'm like, oh my God, you could not be more boring than
Right.
to bring up the word Zionism in your
Mm.
serious, like to use it
Yeah.
like in a serious way.
Yeah.
Do you have like a PowerPoint you want to play with this?
Mhm.
Any graphs that you want to share?
Right. And it's like you can make a joke about anything with it, anyone being the butt of your jokes. Again, like
course.
you said, just make it interesting. Make it a little more something that if you're going to shit on me, make sure I know about it. Invite me over first or whatever. But like I don't want to come off like, woe is me, poor white guy. You know what but it's also like the terrain is sometimes not as welcoming or fun to navigate sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's like, I imagine, and this is not at all, I'm not minimizing at all. I imagine that's how like women felt in comedy kind of forever.
Totally.
But as the only woman in Seoul comedy for a very long time, not very long, for 1 year, for years, for 1 year, you were the person who really made a point of making sure that it wasn't like that. You know what I mean? Like it was, so for you, it's like, it sucks because I think you're sensitive to things. Like you feel, you know what I mean?
So sensitive.
You're
constantly.
so fucking gay. No, you're.
do I like that? No.
I was gonna say, I was like, are you a little hard? You just got a little hard.
Twice as soft, but whatever.
Yeah. But I think it's like you made a point of making sure that I didn't feel that way, or that other women didn't feel that way. And then now you're in a world where I think a lot of women feel like, yeah, well, fuck you. And you're like, but I was never like that. You personally.
Right.
And so even though you understand why, whatever, but again, I think it's boring. I think it's short-lived, short-sighted. I mean, in Austin, it doesn't work. People don't do that here.
Okay.
Except in I guess probably alt rooms, but I don't see it much because I'm actually funny. So I don't have to deal with a lot of it. But yeah, I think I support you. I stand with
Thank you. You don't have to try to defend my sensitivity, Eve.
No,
I
listen,
appreciate it.
If you're a little bitch, I'm on your side.
Yay!
No. But I think it's I just think it's really boring and lazy. I think that the words straight white man do not belong in most jokes unless they are super funny. And I know that in order to get to the super funny joke, you have to do bad jokes, but I don't think that people are doing the bad jokes on their way to the good jokes. I think they just think it's a punchline.
Yeah.
But that's like what people used to say, like trans was a punchline. It's like if you think that it's like if you're gonna plug anything in that's what I mean, that it's gonna be I think it's like offensive, basically what I'm trying. You're akin to a trans person is what I'm trying to say now. You're
Cool. Great.
I don't know what happened. I don't know where I just went on that. I just started trying to I'm like, you're like the Jews in the camps.
All right. Well, cool. Great. I don't camp a lot. And that's where I took that.
I would not do well in a camp.
I probably wouldn't.
You don't camp? I feel like you would be really good in a tent or something.
I do a little camping. I'm part of Oregon Country Fair, which is this amazing hippie festival in the woods every summer. I've only been a part of it for 2 years, but it's awesome. And I do like to kind of move towards the end of our conversation with the question we're
never getting off the phone.
This is never done. This is the platform part 18.
Yeah. We're joined now. I have you right where I want you.
You have sewn our anuses together.
Well, that took all the romance out of it for me. All right. Okay, so we're gonna say okay, what's the question? Am I single?
So,
yeah. What's my sign? Gemini. Okay.
When's your birthday?
May 22nd.
May 22nd. Okay.
When's your birthday?
August 4th.
You're a Leo?
I am.
You're the most is it okay for me to be a Leo? Leo of all time.
A little bit. Yeah. A little bit. Honestly, a little bit. And those are things, like I said, it's hard for me to punch down at myself even appropriately. How do I even do that? Because when I do it, people are like, oh, he's not okay. But that's not what I want.
If we were in the same place, I would do this thing too that I do to a lot of people where I'd force you to hang out with me. And then we become very good friends. I mean, we're still good friends. We were friends from a different era, but
right.
I would foist myself upon. I would rape you, but only with your time, not your
rape. Friend rape.
Friend rape you.
Yes.
I did that to Lebo. I forced into my friend.
Forced into friendship.
Way more than he wanted it at the time.
I can see a video cover, forced into friendship. One you are forcing Lebo to hold your hands.
I remember calling him every night before bed, and he was like, I can't do this. And I was like, you have to.
This is so intense.
Yeah. And then we did, and he thanked me for it. No, he
there
didn't,
you go.
But we're still friends. Okay. I'm ready.
So what would you did spend some time talking about your early years in comedy and how we interacted and that kind of thing. What kind of input would you give your early comedy self? Or what do you wish earlier Eve would have kept in mind or taken to heart as she went out on this comedy trek?
Such a hard one.
Mm.
Because I think the reason it's hard is because I think I still need the same advice that I needed then, but
Which is?
just that like it takes time, and the thing that is the hardest is not, well, actually I don't know if this part's accurate. I was gonna say the thing that's the hardest is not the jokes, it's like the the kind of journey in yourself kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really know if that's true. For
Mm.
me, I think
Mm.
that I'm very funny.
Mm.
I think no, I'm just kidding. But I mean, I'm not whatever. Okay, see now I'm like it when you're like asking me a genuine question. I'm like, I think that I overcomplicate it. I think that
Yeah.
think that I have all this growing to do before I can actually
B.
yes, do the thing I really want, really go for it, start trying to tour, trying to this that, put shit
Mm-hmm.
online. I think like, oh, you have to do this thing, you got to do that thing. First I have to, like, it's not tangible things like waking up at a certain time and journaling, but it's like that of the mind. Like I have
Mm-hmm.
to learn to accept blah blah blah. I think it's probably like stop fucking thinking so much and just do comedy. Just like enjoy it, make shit, put it online, share it, apply,
Mm-hmm.
apply for festivals, go to blah blah. And then you
Mm-hmm.
kind of step back and you go, okay, do I like this? Where's it going? How's it working? Okay, this thing, and you make another choice. But so I think if I could go back and say something, I'd be like, just have fun
Love it.
and just do it. Don't
Mm.
let yourself think your way out of progressing.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Totally. There you go. And that, like you said, that's the same stuff you could tell yourself today.
Yeah, that I think I'm mostly answering it to myself now.
Right now, yeah.
I think there was a period of time when I was in Australia when I actually got into a good groove and I didn't let things worry me too. I mean, I worried always, or I was always anxious. But I was like, oh, like I would just kind of work, and then I'd look up and go, wow, this is going well.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would keep going, whatever. But then I was planning on leaving and going to New York, and I had all these like contacts in place and everything set up. And then COVID happened, and I had to just flee. And then all the contacts kind of disappeared, and the bookers changed, and lost contact, and whatever. And then it felt really sad to have to start from the bottom in New York. And then I've had to kind of make my way back to back, And I think I overthink it. What should I do for this? What should I do? It's like just write more jokes. Go on Rudy's podcast. I'll become a regular on Rudy's podcast.
Heck yeah. Would love it. We're laughing.
Yeah, where I just talk about my father and then I take the conversation and turn it into bits.
Yeah. One sex joke after another.
Yeah. So that's my genuine answer.
I love it. What's your fucking fake answer?
Stop sucking so much dick. No kidding.
There it is. Keep that up.
Yeah. I know. I mean, I actually didn't suck that much dick in Korea. It was like a real dry era.
It's the arid season.
Yeah, you did great. I remember you were right. Weren't you in a long relationship?
I had one or two relationships in Korea that I appreciated for sure. Yeah, I was in some.
You're such a fucking nice guy. Yeah, I just really connected with a woman who was a beautiful person, and I just hope wherever she is, she's thriving. Good for you, Rudy. Yeah, the untapped resource of the Pacific Northwest. Rudy Tiberius.
I am, by the way, very untapped.
Your last name Tiberius, right?
Close, Tiberius.
Damn it!
You put a beer in there.
Well, I think you put a beer in there, if you know what I mean. I was gonna say it's like the worst spelled name in comedy that I have learned to pronounce. but I
but
obviously
which you
didn't.
didn't. Great job.
All right, just call me a dumb bitch so I can come.
Well, that was Skank Eve Ellenbogen.
You've been sitting on that the whole time, right?
Noted skank.
Yeah.
No, I just had to put a little bow on it.
I love it. No, I love it. Yeah, I feel seen. I feel
Yeah.
wrapped up tight. I feel tucked into bed.
Well, when you're not in bed, if people want to find you online
or in bed,
in bed or in the real world, what might you suggest?
Just you can track me down. It's outside my door. No, that is a fear I have, by the way, of people. It's like, who's coming to find me? No one. But I'm like, they're here. Eve Elbow on Instagram.
Eve Elbow.
Yeah, Eve.
There we go.
ELBOW.
And check her out in the ATX.
Yeah, that's Austin. If you don't speak airport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in the EUG. Oh yeah. Well, I don't speak.
If you just before we go here, I know you're struggling. I know it's hard sometimes, but you just gotta pull that dick off the floor.
Imagine if your dick was so big and or stuck to the floor. Like, I'm having a hard time computing the physics of it.
I just imagine having like a really long dick that just like never gets hard. Where it's just like it's like sad all the time. Like
it's a cartoon dog's tongue.
Yeah, just like, you pull that dick off the floor and you get out there and you live life. You fuck I don't know, something, but
yeah.
Pull that dick off the floor. It's just
I want to see that dick dunking basketballs.
Yeah, I want to see that dick fucking giraffes. Okay.
Yeah.
Tall enough. I don't know. Yeah, I'd have to work on that one. The punchline.
We're getting there.
But yeah, just don't jump. When you
I don't. You're the one who started by talking about how sad you were. I joined. I was happy to also talk about it. You don't jump. This is what you're giving the advice to yourself now, right?
No, it's so funny. I just gaslight you into thinking that you're suicidal.
It's like, well, I guess I'm not gonna make it. I'm happy about my new job.
No, I'm just trying to create a dynamic between us that we can revisit in the future.
Great.
Yeah, this has been really fun. Thanks for having me as a guest.
Yeah, no, it's a delight. It's always fun to chat with you, Evie. Yeah, you're fucking hilarious.
Thanks, man. Well, I don't think we've spoken in like 6 years or something, 7 years.
Yeah, we talk online every now and again, but this is nice to be able to sit down and chat it up. Let's do it again for sure.
I was gonna say, if it's so much fun, maybe you should do it more often. Maybe you should. I don't know why I'm going this route right at the end of the thing. I don't know why I'm trying to bully you.
Okay. Yeah. we will talk again.
All right. Great.
Yeah. Alrighty. Yeah. I'm gonna push stop on the recording so we can quit this farce. All right. Well, everybody, fuck off. And Eve, do you have any party? Yeah.
Do you have any what? Parting words?
Yeah. Any farting words?
Farting words? Call me.
Okay, will do.
Jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. Not jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. With Rudy Tybersi.
And that's the show.